Welcome, friends. This is Archangel. It's been a bitter, arduous journey which has led me to this point, the point where I don and indeed embrace the accolade of Mgtow, or men going their own way. Yet, as I've stated in another video, I was Mgtow before I had ever heard this acronym. I stumbled upon Mgtow websites and then in turn onto YouTube Mgtow videos in roughly August of 2014. Funny how you seem to stumble upon things that are in continuity with the path that you are on. I was naturally progressing towards intermittent fasting with my diet before I had ever heard that term. Then I discovered the warrior diet and realized, hey, I'm already doing that. Now there is simply a name, a label to attach to the philosophy and behavior. I must admit I was excited to run across Mgtow. For the first time in years, I felt like I was not alone in my suffering. There were others out there, millions perhaps, who were just as fed up as I was about wholesale male devaluation. Moreover, these intrepid males had the fortitude to put their money where their mouth was and practice what they were preaching, not simply vent about gynocentrism, then going out and trying to solicit female attention to validate themselves as human beings. I have come across many males who, deep down, agree with men's rights activists and Mgtows, yet remain closeted about their objection to misandry for fear of ostracization or because they still define their worth from outside sources, female, society, etc. But without turning your back on your taskmasters and rebuking servitude, males will never seize back their power. And Mgtow emerges the only logical response and conclusion to the rampant misandry crisis. You don't bring candy and flowers to the bargaining table and meekly ask, could you try and please maybe treat us a little nicer, maybe pretty please? No, you demand proper treatment, otherwise you are taking your toys and going home. What Mgtows are saying is clear. 1. We are important. We have infinite beauty, value, and worth. We are not disposable. And 2. Until you recognize this and treat us accordingly, we want nothing to do with any male devaluing, misandristic institutions or the females they entitle. Nobody is promoting violence, just an exodus away from male devaluing and disposability. Mgtows are not saying, lynch females. They say, men, take back your power by withdrawing your services to your malevolent slave masters. Mgtow is an empowerment revolution, not a hate movement. Liberation from devaluation and disposability is the golden destination. Even still, to the brainwashed masses, this does not make sense, and so accusations of being gay or misogynistic are leveled at anything men, in attempts to mock or shame males back into conformity within a culture of misandristic gynocentrism. And you know what? Sadly, this tactic works on most green, wet-behind-the-ear males who have not taken the red pills yet. But to those males who have seen reality, the red pills have given us our sea legs, and Mgtows transcend pitiful tactics of shaming and mockery. When anyone points out inequity against males, we are immediately labeled misogynists. Pointing out injustice and demanding better treatment of oneself or group is hatred. Really? So pointing out misandry makes males misogynists. Wow, I guess that means the great Martin Luther King Jr. was racist and hated whites because he was demanding better treatment of African Americans. Yeah, how's that for bass-ackwards logic? Men's rights activists, they do not hate women. Actually, they love them because many still pander to them and base their very existence around them. Mgtows do not hate women either. In fact, Mgtow is the only group of males that truly cares about females by admonishing that they enjoy full equality, which means revocation of privilege and entitlement, and letting them exist all on their own as males must do. Many males in either sphere may express their disapproval of mistreatment by females with anger or colorful language, but this is to convey experience for the purpose of educating others and bolstering their cause, not admonishing one go out with an AK-47 and mow down one's victimizers. Mgtow merely says, guys, Take back your power and worth as a human being by backing away, abandoning your slave masters. How much more peaceful can a movement be in practicing nonviolence? Don't retaliate. Simply leave. You don't have to continue sticking your finger in the light socket. Male empowerment is not about retribution. You may see a lot of venting of hatred and ill will, but these are simply males who have been used, abused, discarded, and now they reject the usury and speak out about the abuse they have sustained. Talking about trauma is an integral part of healing. You may hear the rage of males who are healing and mistake this therapeutic venting for hatred. Then you may hear males stirring other males to heal themselves and to take back their power, and suddenly it's a movement of bigotry. I love females just as I love males. I wish happiness and abundance upon all creatures. But then I have a deeper side. I do not know what is going on in the universe, but I do believe there is a greater picture than the string of random torments that we call life. As such, I feel the need to respect and value all beings, period. However, loving all does not mean putting up with injustice or BS. Male empowerment, Mgtow, is about correcting imbalance, about making right egregious wrongs. I know many here are atheists, and as such have no problem unplugging and withdrawing from everybody, and that is okay if that is their choice. But I feel compelled towards the welfare of all races or genders, and sometimes the welfare of a fellow brother or sister is to let them stand on their own 2 feet and go their own way. I can completely reconcile higher beliefs with male empowerment and Mgtow. So, ladies, we care about you and recognize your rights as fellow human beings, celestial, eternal siblings in life, love, and the pursuit of happiness. But you've been treating us like crap. You are hardwired to treat us like crap. You have been manipulating and abusing us for too long. So you get a timeout all by yourselves, while we awakened males go our own way and attempt to do something which you have not been doing, loving ourselves. I have thought long and hard about the sexes, their motivations and drives. Same species, yet such different biological imperatives. What if we reincarnate time and again? In one life we are male, and in other lives we are female. What if I became a female tomorrow with no memory of today, no memory of the male devaluation and disposability I rail so fervently against, no memory at all of any of this? Would I really act any different than females? Would I really be the one different Black Widow, especially if I woke up a super attractive female? Would I be any different from any other female in this world? Would I be able to reject the overwhelming hypergamy in gender preference and gynocentrism which would be running my lizard brain? Would I be any different from all the other females who see males as utilities, not human beings to be loved because they have hopes or dreams or tender feelings to share? If I were suddenly female tomorrow, with no memory of today, would I be so transcendent and enlightened as to rebuke my drives and instincts, or would I succumb to the entitlements and privileges which have been laid out upon a golden brick road before me by males? Would I be the exception and rise to some altruistic level of love and compassion, or would I let the grunting apes deliver all my desires on a silver platter? Would I treat all with compassion, or would I also use males? Knowing the human animal, chances are I would simply go the path of least resistance and be female just like the rest, using males for my easy passage through life. Moreover, if I woke up with memory of male devaluation and disposability, yet I was a super hot female, would I care about male suffering, or would I gag my conscience and concede to all the males pampering and coddling me because I was hot? This is some good food for thought. After all, life is tough. Everybody is simply trying to eke out an existence, trying to get their piece of the pie, the fastest, easiest way they can. Upon such contemplations, I cannot fault females for using all wiles and tactics at their disposal to get what they want, especially when males roll over like puppy dogs, placating their masters. No, I find fault for misandry with males. Others can only disrespect you to the extent that you allow them to. If all males empowered themselves and went Mgtow, if all males demanded, not asked, demanded respect, then male devaluation would cease. That's why I got all excited about discovering other Mgtows. We compel men to empower themselves. We don't pass the buck along down the line. It stops here. We realize we allow the problem and thus we are the solution. Mgtow empowers males and promotes responsibility. It doesn't promulgate a policy of just sit back and wait for value to be bestowed upon us from some outside agency. No, we seize back the power that was ours all along. To some, Mgtow seems a fad, a trendy movement, a fashionable bandwagon of the week. But I realize it is not. Many went Mgtow before they had ever heard the term, much like myself. With or without an official title such as Mgtow, men have been rebuking gynocentrism all across the globe, all on their own, independent of a title or website. Men are walking away all on their own, all over the globe. Men are finding their way to this conclusion to misandry all by themselves, independent of any movement or guru. And if it becomes trendy and we attract more attention, I'll take it. My purpose is to deliver red pills to the world. Thus, I don't care how hurting, suffering males find us, so long as they do. However, a true Mgtow is not simply a new member who pays their fees and swears allegiance to the clubhouse. No, they are as a sword which is tempered in the fires of tribulation. To many, Mgtow as a moniker represents years of torment and struggle, years of red pills and trying to plug myself back in to the matrix, just to pretend everything is fine. Years of depression, self-hatred, and emotional scarring, all because of what's between my legs, which was ordered there because of the chromosomes I happen to be given. The true embracing of the title Mgtow comes at high price. It is not some, let's join this club, it seems pretty hip, flavor of the week, or spontaneous decision. Purple Hearts are not simply handed out to general soldiers. They come at high personal costs of combat and sacrifice. I believe true Mgtows wear the title of Mgtow like a purple heart, representing their sacrifice and pain, as well as announcing their value and liberation to the world. This is why I believe there is such fervency and reverence amidst Mgtows. We are the elite of the elite, wearing our purple hearts proudly, not some trendy man group trying to bring back traditionalism or making a cozier nest within a broken paradigm. Do you have to be trampled on or hurt in order to find your way to male empowerment? Perhaps not, yet I find that you do need to be witness to abuse or injustice in order to be motivated to do something about it. Whether you experience it yourself or whether you see the effects of inequity on friends or loved ones around you. If you're not exposed to poverty or corporate greed or racism, then how can you be compelled to do anything about it? Where would you draw motivation from if you are content with the status quo? If you've not been party to injustice, then you have no need to change the status quo. And if males are not flagrantly abused, then there would be no reason to address the epidemic of male devaluation and disposability, which is unfairly and cruelly thrust upon the Y-chromosomed. Furthermore, Mgtow is not about abandoning everyone and everything. We absolutely do seek to help other males escape the torment and usury. Some rookie Mgtow may be traumatized to the point where they simply disconnect and adopt apathy about everyone. And that's totally understandable. It's not that they don't care. They are now taking some much needed recuperation time and caring for themselves. So really, withdrawing or Mgtows that ghost is a measure of responsibility, not one of apathy. Yet I feel the overwhelming majority of us feel the passion and answer the call to reach out a helping hand to others who are struggling in the midst of pain, isolation, and torment. I want to help. I know the tumult firsthand. I will not abandon a brother to misandry. I may not be able to undo the wounds, but I can help sew them up and go on to reclaim their power and value as a human being. I'm sure many are aware of the recurring matrix themes in Mgtow empowerment circles, but this is purposeful because this is such a perfect, custom-made analogy regarding male devaluation and disposability. Males are born into slavery and then fed falsehoods, while they're used and their life force is drained beneath a web of subterfuge. Oh, and on a curious side note, The Matrix has been my personal favorite movie of all time from the very first time I saw it, years before I had heard of Mgtow anything. Now, as for me, I have felt and experienced the abuse and devaluations of myself and males at large all my life. However, I guess my personal rebellion started some years ago. My inner landscape was becoming toxic from my internalizing male devaluation and hating myself for being a member of the inferior, bloodthirsty, malevolent sex of unanimous murderers, rapists, and plunderers, with their vulgar, oversized jaws, their complete lack of hygiene, their hairy, dragging knuckles, and their protruding caveman foreheads. So I essentially began venting my torment into a handheld recorder regarding everything I observed about male devaluation, long before I had heard the term misandry. It was a form of self-therapy to vent poison which was tearing down my soul. Then, upon reviewing these recordings, I felt the fire to get these personal observations out to the world and make everybody aware of male devaluation and male mistreatment. These recordings became the framework for Green Eggs and Man. You must first make people aware of a problem before you can entertain a solution. That is my task, to point out male devaluation and disposability. I am the red pill pusher. This has been a long road for me, and here we are on the downside of 2015, and I have finally got this out. Yet because everybody is so brainwashed, nobody wants to read anything I have written. Besides, who reads anymore? It's all abbreviated one-line texts. LOL. This is disheartening, yet my passion will not be tabled. I am excited about being here to rail against tyranny. So, that's the long and short of a few thoughts about Mgtow. I was born male. I have been egregiously wronged because of that, and I came to the inevitable conclusion that, every time I go to the playground I get beat up. Maybe I should stop going to the playground. Other men around the globe have reached the same independent conclusion, all on their own. And what can we extrapolate from this? That something must be right about Mgtow, because males across the globe are coming to this conclusion, independent of any other influence. Somebody simply came along and put a title on this independent phenomena. Regardless of whether men going their own way sticks or whether another name comes to take its place, the philosophy is sound, and I attach my wagon to the end result. Liberation. Liberation from devaluation and disposal for those with a Y chromosome. Revelation is learning that you are a disposable tool. Revolution is Mgtow, turning your back on abuse and usury. And liberation is the place beyond turmoil, where value, beauty, and power synergize, and you are made whole, as you always were meant to be. Revelation, revolution, liberation. My friends, stand with me. Live free.